Hi, this is Michael, and this is my review of the Aquasana water pitcher. And so basically here you have a pitcher that you fill with water. It goes through a filter, which is in here, and let me open this up to show you. So this top part spins to the right, and then if this were the first time using this, you would have to insert the filter in here. You can see this filter has two O-rings around the top, and those O-rings fit into this part. So you drop it down in there, you put this over it, you make sure it's seated on the O-rings, and then you just spin this back. Now there's also a reset button here that you have to depress. You press that in when you replace the filter with a new filter. So once you get that in there, just make sure it's all nice and tight and secure. Next thing you need to do is you need to fill the pitcher. Now this is a half a gallon, which is 8 cups. And you basically fill the inside of the pitcher here with the water. Now what I do is I just take this right over to the sink and fill it directly right into this big thing here. But you can also leave the top on, and I don't like this method because it just doesn't work that well, but there's a very weak spring here, and the water pressure is supposed to just open this up and let you do it right into the pitcher. But if your aim isn't good and you hit the top, then water is going to be spilling all over the place. I don't know. To me, it's just a lot easier to walk over to the pitcher and fill it up, which is what I'll do right now. Alright, once you have the thing filled up, you have to put the top back on first, and then you just bring it over here and insert it onto the base. Now you want to make sure it's not quite that easy to get it right on there, but it goes on automatically. You can hear the amount of noise that it makes. Kind of noisy. It's not outrageously loud, but it's definitely noticeable. It takes about a minute for that water to be forced through the filter and then drains back into the outer envelope of the pitcher. There is this kind of a cool blue light in here that you can see. Looks kind of neat. Not totally necessary, I guess, but looks cool. And as soon as all that water has been pushed through the filter, it just shuts itself off. And you know that it's completely done because the light does go off. Now the very first time you use this, you're going to pour that first batch of water out because that's used to just clean the system the very first time. So it actually stays on for a while. I'm not sure why it stays on for so long, but it's still, it just went back on again, the pump. I guess it just takes a little while for it to go through the filter. I'm also assuming that as you use the filter over the course of days and weeks, one filter is good for 350 gallons. However, I think that's also going to depend on how much stuff is in your water and how clogged the filter gets in the meantime. But it might take longer to go through the filter as the filter starts accumulating stuff from your water. So now it's completely done because the light has gone off. So now I know that I can start using the water that it has just gone through the filter. Now what I have noticed is sometimes when I pick the pitcher off the bottom here, there's maybe a tablespoon of water or so. Sometimes there's a lot of water, sometimes there's not much water. But one time, the very first time I used this, it actually kind of flooded the whole top of my counter. And that's why I would not recommend you keep devices next to the, we have a charging station here. That is no longer going to be a charging station because water was all over the counter. Not really sure why it happened. I actually called the company to ask them why that happened, and they couldn't exactly give me an answer, but they think that maybe the pitcher wasn't completely on the seal here. Basically, you have to sort of hunt around, but even when it's on there, it feels like it's completely on, so I don't know how you could screw that up really. But the bottom line for me is sometimes things are just finicky enough and more of a pain to use than anything, and that's what I'm finding with this. I don't like the noise it makes, although I could live with that. I don't like the fact that it's 18 inches long and takes up so much space on my counter. I don't like the fact that the lid doesn't even, I don't know, I'm always putting it on backwards. I guess that's my fault, but I just don't really like this, and plus it only holds a half a gallon, which is not a whole lot of water. I can go through that almost in one sitting myself. So we go through a lot of water. We need to run this thing maybe 3 times a day, if not more. Making coffee, drinking water, using it for whatever we use it for. So for me, this just is not working out real well. It does take a lot of bad things out of the water, can't argue with that, but the convenience factor just isn't quite there for me. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. I'll answer it if I can. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Have a great day.